What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Shelly Nicole with the Remedy Podcast. Sometimes I be forgetting I changed the name, but what am I saying? Oh, so happy Monday. Hope everybody had a great Monday. How was everybody's weekend? I hope everybody had a great weekend. I personally had an eventful weekend. I always told you guys, so part of the reason why I changed the podcast from Drinks After Work to The Remedy was because I just felt the name needed to change, and also it didn't really resonate too much with what it is I was talking about or doing. So nonetheless, I was like, let me change it to something more powerful, more understanding, and more of what I'm aiming to do, right? So I changed it, but also because I'm not really big. I'm not a big drinker. I don't drink like that. But baby, this weekend I drank. Shout out to my friend Clarinell. Yeah, girl. It was her birthday. Her birthday was actually last Sunday, I believe, right? No, last Monday. And then my other friend Amanda, her birthday was yesterday. So this weekend was a lot of alcohol consumption going on. Again, I'm not a drinker, so yeah. But I love the fact that I didn't have a hangover. I had lychee martinis, I had shots, I had an apple martini. I kept it real cute and classy, but yeah. But luckily I didn't have much of a hangover, so that was the good thing about the whole situation. Nonetheless, I had a great weekend. I was asked to be a girlfriend. I was. So yes, 2 girls off the market. It is over. It is done. I am a girlfriend now. Didn't take him that long. The man knew what he wanted, so I was who he wanted, and he went for it. And I feel like that's just how it's always supposed to go. If you like what you like, you're going to go for it, and you're not going to hesitate. You're just going to go for it. Am I going to tell you his name? No. Will you see pictures of him? You'll see body parts, arms, hands, back of his head. But it's not a secret. I do feel the difference between a secret and private. I feel like you can keep your relationship private and not make the person a secret. And I think by those little videos or pictures that people take, or that I've even taken before, of just not really showing face, but just like I'm with someone and I'm happy and I'm enjoying it. So it was nice. We went to a beef bar, and then he wrote, or had them write, will you be my girlfriend? So it was really cute on the dessert. And we had like a lot of conversation. We stayed up. We had a whole, watched movies and the whole thing. So it was nice. It was a great time. I said yes. Everybody was like, well, did you say yes? I was like, yes, I said yes. So yeah, it was a really good weekend. Again, a lot of alcohol consumption. While we was at Beef Bar, we met the owner, the CEO of, I don't want to mess up the name, Delagio. I believe that's what it's called. Basically, they are the distributors for Don Julio, Kettle One, Ciroc, Johnny Walker. You possibly more than likely drink it. They are the ones who are the big bosses of it. And we met the CEO. Her name was Sally, and she was so nice. Her and her I don't know if that was her husband or her boyfriend, David. That was the name, David. They were so nice. They were sitting right next to us. We were having conversations. She's so humble. She's not like one of those arrogant CEOs or arrogant, rich people that have to show that they're rich. It was just like, yeah, we're here. We're on a date, enjoying ourselves. And we talked about, what we do and the whole thing. She was talking to him. She's like, I love him. I really like him. He's really like a good guy. I was like, yeah, he is. He is a good guy. So that was fun too, getting to meet someone of that stature. And followed her on LinkedIn, wrote her a message. It was nice meeting her. She followed me back. So networking here. I don't know how much of a network that's going to be, but you never know. She may know people that know people that know people, so you never know. Nonetheless, tonight's episode actually is about ghosting. Now, I think I've mentioned ghosting before previously. I feel like a lot of people have heard or know about ghosting. If you don't know about ghosting, you're living under a rock. But it seems to be the thing when it comes to the dating world in our culture now, where ghosting is just like something that just happens so for those who don't know, mostly the older generation who has no idea. I remember I mentioned this to my mother and she was like, what the fuck is ghosting? And I had to explain the whole thing to her because it did happen to me last year. I think I mentioned this story or not, but I know I mentioned it on the live, which was last Thursday. So I did mention it on the live about my ghosting story. And also me having to do the ghosting. It's not a thing of just it's men or it's just women. I feel like anybody can be ghosted. It's not only men do it or only women do it. No, I feel like it's a thing where it's like, depending on the situation, it's either you're like batshit crazy, the person who's doing the ghosting, you're batshit crazy and you need help, or you're in a situation that is too toxic and this is the only way that you can get some type of peace or clarity. And that was my situation as to why I ghosted, because it was like, oh, you're getting toxic and I'm not liking it. But the person who ghosted me was very much so, I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. Didn't make sense. No one saw it coming. Neither did I. But oh well, fuck it. It happened. Nonetheless, it is the new American dating way of saying I'm no longer interested in you. And again, when I was explaining this to my mother, me and her talk like every day. Even when I spoke to my dad about it too, he'll chime in the back like, what does that mean? When I explained it to her, I feel like it's a way of people not trying to, and even as I've read about it, it's a way people try to they don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. And I don't see how that makes sense, because I feel like if this is somebody who you're into, how is this not going to hurt someone's feelings? Am I bugging? Like, I feel like that is going to hurt the person's ego. They're going to feel like, well, what did I do? And they're going to start asking all these questions. How could I have done this different? Should I have done that different? Whatever the case may be, I feel like when you do the ghosting for reasons that don't make sense, or reasons that can really be explained through conversation, it doesn't take a lot for you to converse and just to have a open dialogue with someone who you are interested in or who you had an interest in, to tell them like, hey, I don't see this going any further. I rather us just be friends, or I rather us just keep it as nothing. I'm not interested. I'm talking to someone new. And I feel like this dating era that we're in, I don't even say like dating generation, because I feel like my generation, millennials, we're going through it. I feel like Gen Z or X, whoever's behind me, they're going through it too. The ones who are before me, they're going through it too. So it's just like a way, I feel, of people thinking that you're avoiding a problem, but you're not. You're creating a problem when it doesn't have to be. I literally feel like a lot of the times, and again, this is depending on the situation. So like, for instance, one of my friends, she actually went through this recently, where, her and the guy are having a conversation, been talking, the questions. How do you like this? What do you like? What's your favorite color? What do you like to eat? The whole starter kit, right, of dating. And she asked him a question, or I think he asked her a question of what is something that you're working on that I guess is or has been a problem in your past relationships, right? I'm paraphrasing here. And she told him, like, I think it was like her attitude or something like that. And from that, after she answered it, holding a grudge. That's what she said. Holding a grudge is something that is a problem that she's trying to stop doing now that, she's maturing. And again, we all mature, we all change, we all grow. But as she's getting older and as she's maturing and as she's seeing things in a different way, that's something that she realizes that she has to let go of. She answered him, asked him, so what about you? He didn't answer. So she figured like, okay, cool. Maybe he's working, whatever. The night comes. Oh, hey, I hope everything is fine. Like, I haven't heard from you. Yada, yada, yada. No answer. She goes back on the app that they met each other on, and he blocked her. Blocked her on the app, blocked her phone number, blocked her on WhatsApp, blocked her on everything. I told her it's giving very much so he had a girlfriend and she found out that he was talking to other people, or it's that he didn't like that response that she gave. But if that was something that you didn't like, if that was, let's just say, for shits and giggles, right? That if that was a response he didn't really take too kindly or really may have raised a red flag for him. I feel like at this big grown age that we are in this time of everybody claiming that they're the realest and they speak their mind and they have no problem telling someone how they feel, everything is respectfully. But when it comes to liking someone or it comes to getting to know somebody, no one knows how to talk with their chest. But when it comes to everything else, you could talk. I don't understand that. Nonetheless, I told her, well, bro, you got to just take that L and take it on the chin and go about your business. Because, again, that's what I had to do. And although it went longer than what I should have let it, that's me taking accountability. I also realized that I did nothing wrong. He even admitted that I did nothing wrong. It was his cowardness and his immaturity that had caused him to go ghost. And he went ghost on my birthday. I will put a pause in that. I'll put a pause in that. But anyway, so that's basically what is ghosting. For those of you who don't know what ghosting is basically to avoid conflict, fear of hurting someone's feelings, lack of interest, yada, yada, yada. Cowardness, like I said, overwhelmed or too busy, or they say they're too busy. Then it raises the question, like, so then why start dating if you feel like you're too busy or you feel like you're not in that headspace to date? And I've said this before too. I don't know if it was on an old episode or probably during a live where I said, if you're not ready to date, don't put yourself out there. And it could be for whatever reason. It could be for your own personal reasons because you feel like you have more maturity to do. Maybe you have to heal. Maybe when I'm talking about healing, listen, this book, just a little insert, pause. This book, Forgiving What You Cannot Forget, by Lisa. I'm not going to try to say her last name. Terkeurst. It's the #1 New York best-selling author. When I tell you, I read this book, I think, what year are we in? 2025. I read this book, I want to say maybe I started reading it 2018, 2019. Maybe more than that. Maybe 2020. Could have been sooner than that. I'm not sure. But I know I did read it probably around COVID time. So probably 2020, 2021, right? Is when I started reading it. And I paused it. I stopped. I went back to reading it recently. And the chapter that I actually left off in is the same chapter that I needed to read now. Given what I had just gone through last year, also 3 years ago, and just knowing that chapter was waiting for me to I stopped at that chapter at that time in my life to now opening the book and continuing to read on. When I tell you she really picks up on everything, I mean everything. And it really makes you think about everything that you are holding on to. Forgiving God. That's the chapter I am on. Forgiving God. I think I'm on that one. Or did I get past that one? I don't know. But nonetheless, I recommend that. Highly recommend. You can get it on Amazon. Probably any other book store place too, but I think I got mine on Amazon. Nonetheless, like I said, if you are not healed, or you feel like you're too busy, or you feel like you're not in the right headspace to be dating, then don't date. Even if you're, like I said, if financially you're not ready, because especially for men, y'all gonna spend some money. Whether you're dating one girl, two girls, three girls at a time, you're going to spend some money. So why not spend it? I personally feel like, why not spend it on someone who you want to take serious? One. Two, why not spend it knowing that you actually have it and not complaining about, oh, all you women are so expensive. I'm not saying every date has to be expensive, but knowing that you're showing this woman that you're into her, you're going to date her. You're going to take her places. Some may be expensive. Some may just be creative and may not cost you that much. Nonetheless, you're still going to be spending, but we're not going into that whole thing. Ghosting comes from the cowardness of it. Being overwhelmed, too busy, not ready for a real relationship. The immaturity at its finest. Also, you may be dating someone else and you don't know how to tell this person. Which again, I don't understand or feel like it's a good excuse, because if I meet someone and this is the first time I'm going out on a date with them, or maybe the second date I'm going out with them, and I ask you, well, are you talking to anybody else? Are you interested in anyone else? Like, what's going on? What's your deal? And you tell me no, you're not talking to anyone. I'm going to think that, okay, I'm the only person that he's interested in. I'm the only one that he wants to take serious. So when another girl or another woman pops up in the equation, don't look at me like I'm batshit crazy when I asked you before, when we first started dating, were you talking to someone? You could have said yes. And the thing is, and a lot of men don't realize this, and I feel like a lot of women, I feel like we should also emphasize this and let them know. The real ones. I'm not talking about all the other crazy, no. I'm talking about the real ones. For me personally, right? If we're dating, and if I'm telling you, and I'm asking you, are you dating anybody else? And you said, yeah, I'm dating another female, or I'm dating two other females. All right, cool. Like, how's that going? Is everything? Yeah, you know, I'm just keeping my options open. All right, cool. I respect it. I may still date you and see what's going on. I'll have who I'm dating. I'll continue to date who I'm dating, because I want to see who's going to check off the boxes that I have listed for the man that I want. You get what I'm saying? And I can understand you want to do the same thing. You don't want to just date any woman out here. None of us do. We're all, well, not all. Most of us are dating with intention. And we want to make sure we're not just giving our time, our body, our minds, our souls, just all of it. We're not trying to sit here and do that with just anybody. So if you're dating other women, cool. I'm dating other men. But as long as we know where we stand, and I can then keep my emotions, because y'all love to say we're too emotional. And sometimes we can be. Sometimes we can be. But if you would just be honest about where you are when it comes to the dating and what you want in life, we can meet you halfway. We'll meet you halfway. And if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. If you say to me that, and it's especially at this time in my life, and I guess it also depends on where the woman is, where we are in our life at this moment. If I'm looking for something serious and you're telling me that I'm just trying to date around and see what's going on, I'll still respect it. I'll understand it. But I need someone who's going to be solid and that just wants to stick and chill with me. I'll still respect it. We can still be cool. But understand, you're not going to be the only guy that I'm talking to. And you're not going to be the only guy who I'm going on a date with. You may like me. You may like everything about me. But clearly you're still dating. Clearly you're still figuring your stuff out. But if Mr. B sit here talking about how he wants marriage, kids, house, wife, white picket fence, the whole thing, and he's showing me, not just telling me, but he's showing me, if I stop answering you after a while, or if I tell you, like, listen, I'm talking to someone new and I'm, our conversations become less and less and less, understand why. And again, that's also in the respect of saying, I found someone who wants the same things as I do. I'm taking it serious. It was great meeting you. I hope you get everything that you want in life, and go about your business. And I would hope the mature response for that man, that young man, or that young woman would be the same thing. Well, I love that for you. I'm glad you found somebody who wants the same thing as you do. Wish you the best of luck. And call it a fucking day. Y'all don't have to make everything toxic or dramatic, or it doesn't have to be a whole novela. That's it. It doesn't have to be a soap opera. You can walk away peacefully, amicably. You can just go your separate ways. It doesn't have to be an issue. But I feel like a lot of people don't have that courage, don't really have that realness. Because, people love to throw in that, I'm the real and I'm the. You really don't have it in you if you can't sit here and stand up on your 10 toes and talk about how this is how you're moving and this is what's going on in your life and what you're trying to do. And again, it's okay to date around. It's okay if you're going to have 2, 3 girls, 2 or 3 guys that you're dating at the same time. Because again, you're trying to figure out who's for you and who's not. But just be honest about it. Don't go around, you're the only one I'm talking to, and then pop up on IG, Facebook, TikTok with somebody else. And it's like, hold on, I thought I was the only one you was talking to. Like, did I miss something? Another reason why people go ghosts, mental health issues. And, it's not to say that a lot of people, I'll say this, given the times that we are in right now, a lot of people are facing a lot of stress. Depression can be very high. Suicidal thoughts, suicidal tendencies. Addictions can start relapsing. And again, I feel like because of the times that we're in, everything is happening at the speed of light. And time is not waiting for anyone. It's literally Monday again. I feel like I was just making an episode. I feel bad for you guys who have the weekends off because it goes by very fast. I mean, I know my days off go by fast, but your days flew by. We're already in April. So, and again, this is like with just politics, with relationships, not just relationships, but with politics, relationships, what's going on in the world, internationally, domestic. It's so many things going on right now that can make someone say, you know what? I can't do this right now. This is not for me at this exact moment. And I need you to respect that. And I need you to understand that. And I feel like, again, communicating, talking about it, saying it. The number one thing that I feel like every relationship lacks, and you've probably heard it before, is communicating. You could talk to your homeboys, you could talk to your homegirls about everything that's bothering you, whatever they do to you. But you can't, for whatever God-given reason, you cannot open your mouth and tell the person who you're interested in what's bothering you, because you're intimidated, or you feel like they may not understand, or I really don't even know what it is. But I do feel like it is something that needs to be taken serious. I haven't spoken or haven't done an episode yet about mental health, which I am going to do in the future because it is something that is important to me. If that's the reason why someone goes ghost, I think instead of being an asshole about it, I would just understand it. And then just express your concerns and express your emotions behind it, and how you're feeling, and also hear them. Maybe what you can do for them can also help relieve some stress from their world. Just being there could also help. But mental health can also be a reason why people do go ghost. People just choose not to speak about it and they just disappear. Trauma response. People do go ghost because wanting to avoid abuse or neglect that they may have that may have happened in the past. I don't feel like I asked this question on the live. Is it just a guy's thing, or do girls do ghosting too, especially when it comes to trauma responses? And I said, and I think a few people did agree with me when I said that with the trauma response as well, situation, I feel that mostly men do pull back when it comes to a trauma response as to why they're ghosting. Because they don't know how to express themselves. They're not that good at communicating. Whereas women will communicate regardless of, anyway, we're going to either cry, we're going to scream, you're going to see it on our face. Somehow, somewhere, we're going to express an emotion. Men, you guys tend to just keep things bottled into yourself. And it's not to say that it's okay. It's not to say that it's good. Society and how we were raised has kind of made men shut down from their feelings and how they've been feeling. And again, I put this question on Instagram on the live. I feel like the trauma responses should also be communicated, yes. But I also feel the trauma responses should also be talked about in therapy or with a close friend. I've talked about therapy 1,000,001 times. I will forever talk about therapy 1,000,001 times. That's something that you have to get over, or you have to figure out a way to get through it. I mostly will say get through it because I feel like there will always be something that's going to trigger you, and it's not until you've learned or you've mastered how to block it out or how to use a method that's going to help you get over that trauma response. Until that works better for you as when it comes to that trauma, I think that one of the only best ways to do that is through therapy, or just, again, something that that can help calm you down. I know for some people, music, writing, drawing, if you're like an artist or you like to draw, taking a drive or walking outside, something that can just help you to get over or get past your trauma responses. But again, it's also, I feel like ghosting in general is just a thing of, it's very disrespectful. I'll say that. I think I think ghosting is very disrespectful. Again, I feel like it's nothing for someone to just communicate that to you. And again, even if you're not the best at communicating, a simple, hey, I'll talk to you soon, I'll talk to you later, I'm just having a hard time communicating what it is I need to say. Or hey, just give me a few hours. It shouldn't be a few days. Honestly, I don't think it should be a few days. I feel like a few hours, fine, but I don't feel like it needs to be days. But even then, some people it's different. But I feel like still expressing that you need that moment to just be by yourself and just to say, hey, can you give me a second? I'm going to answer you. I heard what you said, but I do need to just take a step back for a second. And then in time, I feel like it's only right if you really like this person, I feel like you should be able to express how and why your response was your response and what caused that. And again, this is if you really, really fuck with this person. Like if this is someone who you're really interested in. Y'all have talked about the whole future and what you like, and you both have everything in common, and when you hang out, everything is great. I'm talking about this is like a real high potential, like, oh, he up there, she up there. Speak about it. Again, you could talk to your friends about everything. You could talk to your homegirl, your best friend, your ace boon coon about everything, but you can't talk to the person who you're interested in about everything. To me, that doesn't make sense. But again, nonetheless, if you guys like and share this video, or video and episode, that I will tell you guys my story, about my ghosting story and how it happened and how I got over it and how I'm still learning. I wouldn't say I fully got over it because I didn't, but how I've learned to get over and how I've worked through it, because it happened very quickly. It happened a few times, but it happening on my birthday month. That was hard. That was hard to get over. That was hard to handle. Nonetheless, I'm here. I'm good. I wish him all the best. Hopefully he is in the best relationship if he's in one. But nonetheless, I'm good. I'm better than what I was before. In summary, don't do the ghosting shit. Just stop. Stop. Express yourself. Let someone know how you're feeling. Be open and honest. Don't allow what society, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of them saying, well, if you don't like her, if you don't like him, then just go about your business. No, that's corny. That's weird shit. That's weird head ass shit. Don't do that. If you have any type of respect for the person who you're talking to, any type of respect, period, you're going to let someone know that you're no longer interested in them. And you can do it in the most nicest way possible. Now, if you have to go ghost, and this is, again, I posted this question on the live. If you have to go ghost because you have a stage 5 clinger and they just don't understand the word no, that's different. If you've expressed to this man or to this woman that, hey, I'm not interested, thank you, we could just, remain friends, and they just continue and continue and continue and continue after you've said multiple times, I'm not interested, thank you, I appreciate it, it's just becoming too creepy, then I can understand you ghosting. Then I can understand the blocking. Then I can understand the, block on Instagram, all social media, platforms and phone number and whatever. I can understand you, not really wanting to deal with that and your reasoning for ghosting. But if it's simply because of your own insecurities, if it's because you are going through mental issues, if it's because you're having a trauma response, if you're not sure, if you feel like they're hiding something, all of that can be talked through. You can have a whole conversation about it. And again, you don't have to get in deep details, but I feel like to at least let them know what's going on. To at least let them know, hey, this is how I'm feeling, and this is why I did X, Y, and Z. That, I think, is just the most respectful thing you can do to anybody who you're feeling and who you really like. But that is the episode, guys. I thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. If you are driving home, drive home safely. If you are already home, I hope you guys have a great night. I am going to make myself some food, take a nice long shower, maybe a nice long bath. That's what I'm going to do. A nice long bath, relax, listen to some jazz music, and I'm going to woosah. Okay, I hope everybody, again, has a great night. I hope you guys... I forgot what I was about to say. I was about to say something else. Nonetheless, whatever happened into today, leave it into today. Don't bring that shit into tomorrow. I love you guys for listening.